The end goal. People often wonder, well, what is the end goal of this meditation? And, the end goal is very simple. It's an open heart chakra. It's the ability to have self-worth and to love oneself and to be able to use that love in a way where it extends itself to other people, to God, to life. I mean, I've said it 100 times, happy people are enlightened people. And that's basically what this meditation is all about. The meditation is about building a system inside that enables us to keep the heart chakra open and to live in a world where there's compassion, there's kindness, there's love for other people, love for ourselves, and we're not living in a conflicted world where everybody's at each other's throat. Now, yes, you can't do this for other people, but you can grow enough inside yourself that another person's lack of consciousness is not going to throw you off balance. It's not going to make you close your heart and begin to be angry inside at them. I mean, how many times I've said it a lot, we all have negative things in us, every single one of us, and I don't exclude myself from the word all, everybody has negative things inside them. Those negative things attract negative situations. So if those situations manifest in one's life, what do I have to do to change? That's the real question. What do I have to do to change? What do I have to do to transform those tidbits of negativity in me into an open heart, into love, into joy, into a positive human being? And if we begin to ask ourselves those kinds of questions, I mean, it'll save so many arguments and fights. And what did I do to attract this? How did I personally, I said it before, I'll say it again. When 9/11 happened, one of my students called me up and asked me if the world was coming to an end. And I said to her, what are you talking about? She said, well, haven't you watched the television, the news? I said, no, I didn't see it. I was living up in Woodstock at the time. And I turned on the news and I see planes, flying into skyscrapers. And I said, oh my God. And you know what my first thought was? My first thought is, what did we do to these people that made them do this to us? Now, I never read in the media anybody ever asked that question. It was always about revenge, getting the bad guy. We're the innocent people, they are the bad guy. And it's the same thing with everyday quarrels and arguments that people have with family and friends. What did I do to attract this situation? How do I have to change? And maybe if this government would ask itself, how do I have to change to be kind and compassionate and loving and truly be responsible for the lives of people, things in the world might change. People would change. People would treat each other differently. So that really is a serious consideration. And it's one of the great elements that I learned from Rudy. What do I have to do to change? Why am I angry at somebody? Because they said something about me they don't like. What do I have to do to change? And I think that's an incredible question. You have to really develop maturity inside to ask yourself that question. Because you can't be timid, you can't be insecure, can't be full of anxiety, and above everything else, you can't spend your time protecting yourself from the world. What do I have to do to change? And to me, it's simple, I mean, to get people to love each other is a very simple thing. to get people to do it is a very complicated situation. And I really mean that. The answer is very simple. Getting people to do things is very complicated. Because you're up against mind, emotions, and so feelings, and what we think about the image we have of ourselves, and all this ego stuff and personality, and yet the answer is simple. And if people would do it, I think we would live in a very different world. But I'm not naive, and I don't expect people to do it. And I do expect myself to be bigger than somebody else's anger and somebody else's dislike for me. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? I hope this is clear, because ultimately it's all about simple reality. God is love. And if we can't live with that reality, then it's a disservice to higher energy in the universe. And even in the Bible, it says, love your enemies. Why should you love your enemies? Because they are showing you what's wrong with yourself. Why are they your enemies? They're showing you what they dislike about you, and maybe something inside each and every one of us has to change. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Well, I don't think this is easy. I certainly think it's worth doing. Whether it's hard, not hard, easy, whatever, it's worth doing. It transforms your entire life. And what do we all want? We want to have happy, wonderful, joyous, loving lives. We want to be able to share that love with other people. That's what we want in the world, We don't want people to pity us and feel sorry for us. We have developed the capacity to live like human beings. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Yes, I have a question, Stuart. Uh, how is it possible to realize, how can I realize that I need to go deeper in my work?
I mean, Pat, are you perfect?
Hell no.
Okay. You just realize that you need to go deeper in your work. That's it, Pat. You know,
Okay.
with all your faults and problems, you're a very wonderful human being, Pat, and I love you very much, But, you're not perfect. And your imperfections show me how deeply I have to work in order to connect with you. Every one of these people that come to your classes, all their imperfections are showing you how deeply you have to work on yourself to be able to truly connect with them. So we don't put people down for their imperfections. It makes us work harder on ourselves to try. And if you never really connect with them, you certainly connect with a higher energy in the universe, because that's where you have to go to get that kind of wisdom. So all those people are there to serve you. And I don't mean they're your slaves. I mean they're there to show you the work that you have to do on yourself. I mean, Rudy once told me there are no bad students, there are only bad teachers. Once told me this. There are no bad students. They're only bad teachers. A really good teacher can get into and really teach anybody. Understand? So what he was telling me is learn from the people that come into your life. They are showing you what you need to work on in yourself. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
Stuart, I have a question. There's still this voice inside that says, "Well, you're not going to get this lifetime."
Bob, I can't make out what you're saying. I'm getting older here and a little bit deaf, so you'll have to enunciate. Remember your teachers used to say enunciate? You have to enunciate.
There's a ridiculous voice inside of me that says, "You're not going to get this lifetime." And I know it's just a voice.
So what? What are you worried about? Get what you can get in this lifetime. And if you don't get it, they'll give you another lifetime to get it, you know? I wouldn't worry about this, Bob. Tell the voice to shut up. I'm so worried that we're not going to get it in this lifetime. We don't have to be perfect. In fact, if you don't get it in this lifetime, they'll probably welcome you into the cosmos with open arms. Because what are you going to get? What are you going to get? There's nothing to get. There's a lot to surrender.
Mm.
There's a lot to let go of. So don't worry about what you're going to get. Just keep letting go. And if you keep letting go, you'll make room for God in your heart. I hope that answered your question.
It's a good answer.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, so just as a reminder, there won't be class on Sunday. There'll be a retreat this weekend. And the next class will be on Monday. Thank you, and God bless you all. You have my love, you have my blessings, you have anything I can offer to help you in your spiritual practice. So thank you, and God bless you all. And I'll see everybody this Monday. Except those
Thank you.
who are coming to the retreat. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Love you.
Good night.